bonus news.
Alrighty boyas, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing, guys? Today we're going to be covering the design chat, the armor in version 7.10, which version 7.10 will be coming around Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week. It's basically going to be season 7 for Fortnite Save the World. It's going to be a huge update, so just wanted to do a little bit of a quick bonus news segment on this. David Dean has already covered it, which he's been freaking on top of things with news recently, but I do have a podcast with him coming out later tomorrow that I think you guys will be interested in. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's take a look at this, and at face value it doesn't look too entertaining, but as we really get into it, it's gonna look really cool. Matt just starts out the post and he says, "Hey everyone, in update 7.10 we'll be converting damage resistance perks to a new stat called armor. Armor is configured such that +1 armor is equivalent to +1% longer survival time under fire, making it consistently valuable per point regardless of the amount. For instance, if you have 30 armor, you'll survive 30% longer under fire than you would with 0 armor. This is in contrast to the current implementation of damage resistance, where simply adding percentages together makes each perk more powerful than the last, skewing build diversity. To illustrate this problem, imagine you have a damage resistance perk that grants 50% resistance, which halves the incoming damage and makes you twice as hard to kill. If you had a second 45% perk on top of it, it drops the incoming damage to 5%, which makes you 20 times harder to kill. Armor will make these times grow linearly instead, which lets us give you more defensive options to choose from without having to hedge against the effects of stacking DR from multiple sources. As an example, the medieval melee weapons coming in 7.10 will have more access to armor perks, including a new 6-slot perk that gives stacking armor bonuses per hit." Now, I don't know if this just confirms like only a medieval weapon set. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a separate llama for this, if the medieval weapon set's gonna have guns or not, but it sounds really interesting. The medieval melee weapons coming in 7.10. So it's not the most interesting thing in the world at face value, seeing these medieval weapons, but I'm sure they wouldn't be bringing a whole medieval melee weapon set if it weren't interesting in some aspect. So we might be seeing guns in this weapon set, which I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but you know, we might see it in the future, who knows. Then he goes over, you know, what it's like currently versus with armor currently, and you know, down here he keeps on going. He says, "In line with our investment return policy, first described in our recent state of development blog, we'll be making any affected heroes and schematics eligible for an evolution refund in an upcoming build with the debut of that capability, which is targeted for 7.20. So basically you'll just be able to reset a schematic and get all of your stuff back." And then he goes on to talk about how they'll be buffing melee weapons with heavy attack efficiency and all that kind of stuff with survivability, and it really looks pretty cool. You know, it looks pretty freaking cool to have a medieval set. Like I said, I'm not sure if there's going to be guns in it, if there's going to be a separate weapon set or not, but you know, Magis was quoting us saying that we're going to have some really cool weapons in the new weapons that we're getting with the event. So I'd imagine that we should be getting some guns. I mean, I think it would be pretty disappointing if we only got melee weapons, but then again, if the melee weapons are really freaking cool, then I can see that the community might not complain so much. But guys, that's pretty much it for me. I think that this is some pretty awesome news, you know, very hidden in this design chat. And like I said, I would have covered this earlier. Actually, I don't know if I said this. I would have covered this news earlier, but like 90% of my day has been spent sleeping. So yeah, I was catching up on some sleep. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna have some interesting videos coming out, so make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. Definitely that podcast with David Dean is gonna be one that you guys are gonna watch. But guys, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.